Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Leon and welcome back to the Nerd Lounge. Today we're starting a new series called Treat Yo Shelf, where I just go over all the stuff that I bought in the last couple of months or been bought and gets updated on the collection. It's basically a haul video with a fancy name. But to start off, there's someone I need to introduce you to. Milo, come here! This is Milo. And this is why I haven't been able to buy anything for the last couple of months. Hello. He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Okay, off you go. And now those introductions are out of the way, we can get into the very few things that I have got for this episode. Okay, we're going to start off with some video games. Now, there's not a load of stuff that's come out recently. This stuff is kind of from now back to like Christmas. But the PS5, first of all, got that day one. Got Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think that's it for PS5 games so far. But there's obviously stuff coming. This was something that my girlfriend bought me. This is the Bloodborne Collector's Edition. This is a really dope steelbook. It's one of my most wanted steelbooks ever. Comes with this cool art book, first of all. Then the awesome steelbook. Now, this is all still in its cellophane. I haven't opened it yet. I have no reason to open it. It's just going to sit on my shelf because I already have the game. But yeah, Bloodborne Collector's Edition. This is one of the dopest things I own now, so I had to put it in this video. Now, other than those PS5 games that I've bought, which I didn't really think was worth going over, this was the next thing that I purchased, and that is Nier Replicant. This came out a week and a half ago, and this game is just amazing. If you didn't know already, Nier Automata, the sequel to the game this is a remake of, is one of my favorite games of all time. It's my third favorite game of all time, and so far, having not finished it yet, I'm about 3/4 of the way through, this is better than Nier Automata. This game is amazing and I cannot recommend it enough, especially for anyone that's a fan of Nier Automata or the series in general. To go alongside that, because I love this series so much, I bought the Nier Replicant White Snow Edition from the Square Enix store direct. Now, this is something I was always going to do, buy a collector's edition of this. I missed out on the Nier Automata one because obviously I didn't buy Nier Automata when it came out. But above me I have a record that came from the Square Enix store, and it's kind of, I was always going to do this. I haven't opened it and I'm not going to open it because the value on this, I haven't checked it recently, but on day of release, like doubled or even tripled in value. So it's staying sealed for now. I got the game and I can play the game because it didn't come inside this box. But this box contains a script, the entire script of the game in 6 books. It has a steelbook, some pin badges, a soundtrack, and it has something else as well. Oh, it comes in like this really cool collectible box. But like this cover, awesome. This just sits on my shelf just looking fabulous and dope and beautiful. And I'm so glad that I bought this because I love the game so much. And I would have had to buy this for triple the price if I had not. So that's the second thing that I grabbed. Pretty cool. And that's it for video games. There really hasn't been that much. Obviously, Resident Evil 8 came out the other day. I decided not to get it because I'm busy with this. I have so much stuff to do that I don't really have time for games, so I thought I'll just save money on that. But the next thing coming out is Ratchet & Clank. That's getting bought on day one. And I'll probably pick up Resident Evil at some point, just to let you know kind of what I'm grabbing outside. Okay, now let's do some manga. Now, in my recent manga what have I been reading video, I had this as my backdrop and someone asked me when I got these Vagabond volumes, and I realized I never put them in a haul, so I bought Vagabond volumes 1 through 12. They just sit here, they haven't been read yet, but I bought them for a really good price, paying about maybe £5 per volume, which is fantastic for this series. I bought that late last year, one of the best purchases I've ever made. They're all in like fairly good condition, and yeah, that's where I got that from for that one person that asked. Other than that Vagabond, I literally haven't bought any manga for myself. These 3 were bought by my girlfriend Girlfriend for Christmas. So we've got Goodnight Pum Pum Volume 1, Goodnight Pum Pum Volume 2, which is still in the shrink wrap, which means there is something bad going to happen in that one, and then Goodnight Pum Pum Volume 3. This series, I spoke about it in my previous video. I've read Volume 1, really enjoyed it, and I will be grabbing the rest of these, but for now, that's all I've gotten. And then going along with the trend of stuff my girlfriend has bought me, which is quite a large running trend this episode, we've got Beastars Volume 4 through 7. This one... This was a pain in the ass to get. There was a story behind this. It basically was printed right during lockdown. So the UK got like no shipment of it and it was a pain to get. I think now they fixed it and there are prints of it. But yeah, we've got 4 through 7 of Beastars. I've already read 1 through 3 and then I'm going to pick this up once I've finished 20th Century Boys. And I'm going to grab the rest of the volumes as well out so far. But I love this so much. Beastars is such a good series from what I've read in the first 3 volumes. Yeah, I need to catch up on it because I love it. Like, it's brilliant. Now, if you know me, you know I enjoy reading books just as much as I enjoy reading manga, even though I've let it slip for a bit. So I got a big stack of books, all of which, actually no, most of which are fantasy recommendations, and 2 of which are just books from my favourite author, or one of my favourite authors. So we'll start off with those. So we've got My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies by Fredrik Backman. Last year I read a man called Uva. I'm gonna pronounce it like that. It's probably wrong. And it was just the best book I've ever read, so I had to pick up more stuff. So this one is one that I've got. And then also the short story, Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. These 2 are going to get read. They're pretty short, but I'm kind of focusing on manga at the moment. So once I get back into reading books, these are on the list, very close to the top of the list. And then the one I'm reading currently, which again has kind of been paused, is The Lies of Locke Lamora, which is a fantasy novel. It's a series of 3, I believe, and I'm really liking it so far. It's a huge recommendation in the fantasy novel world. This is definitely something that I need to get further into. I'm about a quarter of the way through at the moment, but again, as I said in my last video, I'm addicted to 20th Century Boys, so I don't have time to read this right now. Next thing I got was The Poppy War, another recommendation. If you don't watch Daniel Green on YouTube, most of the stuff that he recommends I'm going to pick up because we have very similar tastes. I haven't started this, I have no idea what it's about. I'm going in completely blind. Again, it's just a fantasy war type thing, and from what Daniel Green has said about it, it sounds interesting, so I'm gonna read that. The next one I got, this is because I finished Mistborn last year. I really enjoyed it, so I picked up some more Brandon Sanderson. This is Elantris. This is a one-off novel, and I did read some of this. I'm not sure how far I got through, maybe about 50 pages through, and then I dropped it because I couldn't get into it. I don't know if I was just in the wrong mindset. So I'm going to come back to this one. Brandon Sanderson, if you don't know, has written a universe of books called The Cosmere, and this is one of them. So this is on my list, but it didn't grip me like Mistborn did. So I've kind of like dropped it and started Locke Lamora instead. And then the other thing I got was The Way of Kings Stormlight Archive Book 1, Part 1 and 2. These are freaking huge books. This is supposed to be one book. One book. Yeah, again, Brandon Sanderson. This is apparently his magnum opus, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm extremely excited. It's just a big undertaking, I guess. It's like a Lord of the Rings level undertaking to read these. But it's on my shelf. It's on my list. I just need to find a split between manga and books and get to reading. Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, which is the first parts of the Stormlight Archive. And that's it for all the books that I've gotten. There is one more thing I want to show, and I have been waiting for this to come out for years. And the moment it was announced, I pre-ordered it. No hesitation. Let me get it for you. This is the Lord of the Rings motion picture trilogy in 4K. And the other day I watched Fellowship of the Ring and it looks beautiful. It is amazing. I'm so glad that they finally released this. This is 3 steelbooks. I will show the steelbooks because they are, again, just fantastic looking steelbooks. This is Fellowship with the bits on the back. just amazing. And it comes with the 4K version in 2 discs, because obviously long film, and the theatrical version. I don't think it comes with any of like the behind the scenes stuff, or are they called the appendices? I can't remember. But I have another box set that has all of that in. But yeah, this is basically just a 4K version, the best version possible of The Lord of the Rings. So here's the Two Towers. And then Return of the King, which is my least favourite because it has Gollum on the front, and I don't really see why. You know, should really have like Aragorn on the front, or like The Last Stand of Men, you know, and there's the crown. It was just, the moment it got announced, I was like, I'm having that. I don't care. So far, I'm really impressed with the 4K. I don't understand how they upgrade stuff, but it looks fantastic. And if you don't know already, I freaking love Lord of the Rings. Duh. I have 2 Lord of the Rings tattoos, multiple posters, every book, multiple times. I'd love Lord of the Rings. This was a must buy. And that is it for this episode of Treat Yo Shelf. If you've enjoyed the stuff that I've gotten, if you want to know more about each thing that I've gotten, then comment down below. Let me know what you've been grabbing over the last couple of months. We're going to be doing these semi on the regular, as long as I have stuff to buy with the dog and the new house. I don't have that much money, but if I do grab stuff, I will be showing you guys. If you've enjoyed, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when that new content comes out. And I just want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sticking around. Super kind of you, and I will see you next time. Peace.